All right, so this is going to be issue 2 of What If Goku Landed in the Marvel World, Goku's origin story. All right, so let's just get straight to it. If you like the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. All right, here we go. All right, so last time on this issue, on the first issue, all right, we had Bardock, a member of the Ravagers, who sent his second son, Goku, to the planet Earth, where he landed in the Savage Lands and was found by Craven the Hunter, where he was raised up in that land, you know, taught in the ways of how to be a hunter. All right, then Craven decides that it's time for Goku to fly out of the nest at his normal age of 12, like in the regular Dragon Ball world, and he goes to travel the world. So, what will be Goku's next challenge? All right, so this is issue 2. Issue 2, A Tale of Two Tales. The cat claws the monkey. All right. So this will be what the second issue is called. So King T'Challa has just recently been crowned king of Wakanda. All right, he's a young king at this time period. All right, because the Savage Lands are located in Antarctica, in the Marvel world, one of the closest continents is Africa. All right, it's the second closest continent. All right, so that will be where Goku goes. That's his next stop as he looks on the map, that was given to him by his father, by his adopted father, Craven. A map of Wakanda, So that's where he heads off. This Goku would look somewhat like this in this timeline because, as you know, he was raised by Craven, who's known for wearing extravagant animal skins, So riding on his dinosaur, he ventured off, setting course to Africa, specifically Wakanda. All right, so once again, this is a tale of two tales. The cat claws the monkey. So T'Challa, being king, he's just getting used to what it's like to be king. He has he has to follow into some footsteps that were big. He has big shoes to fill. Meanwhile, as soon as Goku arrives in the lands of Africa, he decides to wash off the Savage Land scent for a new feel and smell of the African continent. I'm gonna make this something that he does frequently. Pretty much everywhere he goes, he bathes, he washes off, and so the entire experience will be new. The entire landscape will be a new experience. All right. When he gets out of the water, he is met by two different tigers. All right, unexpected visitors. But Goku, being no stranger to animal attacks, deals with them accordingly. Now Goku has a new scent and some new skins in his new travel. All right, for his new adventure. Meanwhile, you have Dora Milaje members training and sparring with each other. Goku, seeing this, travels towards the fight, wanting to get involved in the confrontation, being incited by the battle. After all, he was raised to enjoy battle. Meanwhile, T'Challa, being the new king of Wakanda, was still training in all styles to prepare for the obstacles to come during his rulership. All right, still training with weapons and hand-to-hand combat, as well as being diplomatic, etc. So when Goku gets involved in the scuffle, he begins to enjoy himself. Obviously, beginning to fight the Dora Milaje. To test his abilities as well as their own. the lower ranking members are actually surprised, like, who the hell is this kid, because he's able to defeat them with relative ease. All right, a certain individual sees all this transpire, and his interest is piqued in this boy. All right, seeing Goku defeat two warriors sparked an interest in the eyes of a hidden observer. As we know, this is Man Ape. All right. So, after Goku ventures along, he is greeted by Man Ape, also known as M'Baku. And M'Baku tells him if there's a hunt that he's looking forward to, if there's a mountain he needs to climb, he has the perfect opponent. Being piqued with an interest, Goku tells him to go on, and this is when M'Baku would begin to tell him about the legend of the Black Panther, and how he's a strong warrior and a great adversary for Goku. Goku takes all of this in, and his interest is very piqued, and he's basically already ready to pounce on this opportunity. All right. M'Baku basically reveals to Goku that he had faced this opponent before and had been defeated. All right. And telling Goku that he himself is strong and was still defeated by T'Challa, but known as the Black Panther to Goku as of now. All right. So Goku, hearing all of this, taking all of this in, he's basically thinking, how strong could this guy possibly be? Unbeknownst to M'Baku, the spirit, the ape spirit, in his cave, also looks at Goku with interest, for a later date, piques his interest for a later date. And as Goku's leaving the cave, he feels a certain type of presence and or spirit, but just as it had tickled his hairs on his neck, it disappeared, and he was met with a blue sky again. Wondering what the hell was that. It was almost like there was some type of spirit observing him. But anyway, moving on. The ape sees that Goku could be something great. This ape creature sees that Goku could be something great in the future. Some type of hidden power, hidden potential, if you will. But for now, he must go along on his journey. So, moving on throughout Africa, Goku finally gets to the outskirts of Wakanda, running to there in joy, excited to test his abilities against this so-called Black Panther. There he is met with stronger Dora Milaje members in the outskirts of the forest, where he also decides to go in and battle them, learning that they are stronger than his last counterparts. So they must be higher members of this secret warrior task force. All right. So taking on this, the Dora Milaje began to inform T'Challa on this news, knowing that these members seem to be losing to this unknown assailant as well. T'Challa's interests are piqued that someone can be able to take out the some of his best soldiers, but also learns that none of them have been killed. So it piques his interest. If this was an attack on Wakanda, why have none of his troops been killed, or mortally wounded? So T'Challa suits up for battle with interest, caution, and annoyance. T'Challa puts on his Panther garment, ready for the task at hand. All right. Meanwhile, Goku had just knocked out yet another member of the Royal Guard, I guess you could say. Just defeating another one. It is at this time that T'Challa takes matters in his own hands and joins the battlefield. Where he tells his warriors to stand down as he greets this man, or really boy. It is at this point where they both stand off and look each other down. Goku, being very observant, even more observant than he would be mechanically, realizes that this has to be the Black Panther that was mentioned by M'Baku. So they kind of have their stare down. Black Panther looking at this boy as if he's a mystery, never seeing this man, never seeing this boy ever around. He is he asks him why is he here, and Goku responds telling him that he's here for you. He's here for him. And at this time, let me also say, Goku doesn't even have the name Goku. When Craven told him to go make a name for himself, he literally meant just that, to go make a name for himself. So right now he's still called by Craven's last name. Alright, so I just wanted to add that as well. So they begin to face off. T'Challa gets in the stance and Goku charges, ready for battle. Goku charging with a great speed is already alerting T'Challa in this manner. Knowing that, okay, so this kid's not a normal kid. And by the way, the name that he goes by is Kravenov, because that's Craven's last name. I should have mentioned that also. Anyway, moving on. So right off the rip, they come to blows, dodging each other's attacks with ease, and T'Challa countering some even, But no damage has really been done. It's just a show of, it's just a test of one's ability, seeing how fast, how strong, and how agile the opponent is. Learning that they're both pretty agile in this skirmish. It is at this point, we're in the same way that T'Challa was able to counter Goku's move and bring him on the ground as he bounces back up. He goes on his offense, attacking Goku. But Goku, being just like T'Challa in the sense of agility, he's able to dodge every attack that T'Challa throws as well. Also curious to see what this purple aura is that T'Challa has around him in this battle. Alright. Eventually, T'Challa is able to land a good, solid punch to Goku, which launches him in the air. Goku is wondering, how the hell could he do so much damage with such a punch? Not knowing what this armor that this man has on, not knowing the suit. Of course we know it's vibranium threaded. It's at this point that T'Challa begins to throw kinetic darts, which are caught easily by Goku. Being able to intercept all the projectiles and catch them as they travel. But being even more surprised, his hands are scratched up and begin to bleed, which makes Goku excited. This is a man, that is able to actually do some real damage to him, which gets his Saiyan blood flowing, making Goku even more excited for the fight that's at hand. It's at this point where Goku launches a punch on his own, hitting T'Challa's armor. He launches an attack with one of the knives that Craven had given him, but the knife itself had broken off before it even did any serious damage, which Goku had only went for a cut and not really a stab, just to test his thoughts. And as he thought, this armor is stronger than he once expected. So, and this is when Black Panther begins to tell him, yes, he is protected by a vibranium weave, as we all know. And also, he sees something else. He sees that this boy's fighting style is very similar to someone he fought about a year ago. That's someone being Craven the Hunter. And And that's when his interests are even more piqued, and he says, "Are you affiliated with the Hunter?" Which Goku says, "Yes, he is my father." All right, so he put two and two together. And just as if when Craven had this knife, it's just the same way when it had broken off on Goku's strike. You know, but as he's thinking, having this recollection and thinking of Goku's origins, Goku's able to land a solid drop kick to T'Challa right in the head, launching him far off into some metal, which obviously does some damage, but nothing that T'Challa can't handle. But T'Challa is surprised that he was able to land such a solid attack, and he also blames himself for being so careless and daydreaming. All right, is at this point where T'Challa begins to use his kinetic knives, which Goku intercepts with his own spear that was given to him by his adopted father Craven. All right, so they face off for a while. Goku's able to deflect certain attacks. T'Challa's filling out the strikes, but still they're at quite a stalemate. It is at this time that Goku begins to charge up and go on a full offense, knowing that he's still discombobulated from the drop kick that had happened previously. Going on a full offense, he starts to land a fury of punches continuously on T'Challa, believing that he is finally about to conquer his first big hunt. All the while, T'Challa is just taking blow after blow after blow, and as he is taking blows after blow after blow, his suit is beginning to glow purple. Goku is thinking that he's damaging the suit, thinking, oh, maybe this suit's about to rip apart. So he continues to go on offensive, and he charges up all his muscles. As his muscles switch, he charges up a fist, going in for the finishing blow. All the while, T'Challa is just awaiting to go on his counterattack. And that's when T'Challa lets off all that kinetic energy stored and blasts away Goku in a direct impact, completely taking him off guard and overwhelming his senses and defenses. So Goku is completely blasted back. This charge was able to knock Goku out, knocked him out completely, because it was so unexpected. He had no way of knowing that was going to happen. He had gotten too cocky. Meanwhile, T'Challa just kind of sits on a knee for a minute, getting his bearings. Goku gets up, telling T'Challa, I don't intend to give up. But then he realizes that, damn, it's no use. He can't really move. So he's just stuck there. And that's when T'Challa looks at Goku with curiosity and also in a predatory glare, thinking that maybe he should just get rid of this boy entirely. But understanding that he's a child and has so much potential, and he sees that this that this child isn't really malevolent. Messed up that word, butchered the word, but he isn't really that bad of a guy. He didn't kill any of his soldiers when he could have, and when he went in for a stab on T'Challa, it was more of a cut than a stab. He had no intention of killing him with the knife that he broke on his armor. Meanwhile, Goku's just having the time of his life. Doesn't really care if he lives or dies in this moment. He's just glad that he got to fight such a strong opponent. But he does tell T'Challa that he hopes that they can fight again someday. It is at this point that T'Challa looks down at Goku and realizes that he should train this boy in the arts of some of his own fighting styles. Seeing that the boy wants to better himself, T'Challa admires that, since considering the fact that he also wants to better himself. So he begins to take the boy under his wing. All right. So He even removes his mask, showing Goku his appearance or his facial. See what he looks like. And Goku's in bandaged up. Healing up. So they get to know each other a little bit more. T'Challa tells him that he's the king of Wakanda, as well as the Black Panther. And, Goku's just confused, saying, I've never met a king before. And Goku also tells him that he's from the Savage Lands and that he was raised by Craven. And honestly, he's one of the first people he's ever met, aside from his father. And some savage folk in the Savage Lands, but he never paid them much attention. Walking out of the hospital room, he is met with the Dora Milaje again. The Dora Milaje, and they stare down each other with glares, knowing that Goku has had a rocky relationship, to say the least, with the Dora Milaje. So, that happens for a little bit. But, as they get to know Goku, they realize that he's actually a pretty likable guy, He just likes to fight, train, he's silly. He's just a normal kid. He eats a lot, which surprises them. He does a little bit of pranks here and there. So they actually begin to like Goku. So what started off as a rocky past, that's been patched up. And it's at this point we should take a look at T'Challa's abilities. Let's look at his powers and abilities. All right, this is what he's going to be training Goku with. And you guys have to remember, if you watch the previous part, this Goku never fell and hit his head, so he's not an idiot. So he can pick up on things that are taught to him. All right, but he still acts similar to the Goku from the original Dragon Ball series, in the sense that he still loves to fight. He's not really a hero per se. He just likes fighting strong opponents. But there's nothing evil in him. Anyway, let's look at T'Challa's powers and abilities. All right, so he has genius intelligence. He's a master martial artist, master acrobat, expert marksman, master tactician, expert tracker and hunter, multilingual, master inventor, highly influential connections, diplomatic immunity, musical skill, substantial wealth, physical strength. All right, which honestly, and it's kind of funny because this is not exactly, but this is very similar to his training with his adopted father, Craven. All right, because Craven, as we know, we did the breakdown on the first part, that Craven was also a pretty good acrobat and an expert marksman, and a master tactician and an expert tracker and hunter. But the thing that Goku picks up on is what? How to be more inventive in his techniques and styles. More inventive with his attacks. Because T'Challa himself is an inventor. And all the while, T'Challa decides to upgrade Goku's spear and gives him a spear of one of the Dora Milaje members. So now he has a spear far more stronger than the staff that broke so easily, And he's highly influential with connections, so he can basically give a map to Goku on great influential places that he could continue his training, etc., things like that. And the wealth that he has, he's able to give Goku modern equipment like a phone, things like that. So that's really what that's really the significance that he gives to Goku as importance. Of course, we know that T'Challa also has the King of the Dead powers, which allows him to use basically energy weapons and stuff like that. But this hasn't happened yet because, as I said before, this is a younger T'Challa. He's just become king. All right. But the most important thing T'Challa taught Goku was what? I'm going to tell you what. This is exactly what he told him. He said, as you know, Goku, you are not a normal man. I'm not even sure you are human at all. But your special origins are irrelevant to this lesson. The fact of the matter is that you are anything but a normal boy, and you should conduct yourself accordingly to your potential. In the same way that I utilize my Panther suit as my means of extending my abilities, you need to harness your own potential in a similar fashion. Goku wondering what is he actually talking about, And then this is when T'Challa elaborates. After all, your body is like a Panther suit in itself, because Goku when he fought T'Challa, he let off a certain energy, specifically when he went uh, against T'Challa with those kinetic powers. But, not knowing what it is, and Goku not knowing what it is either, you know. But he does know that Goku basically has abilities similar to T'Challa's suit, not in the way that he has a suit, but his body itself is like his armor. Meaning what? Meaning he's able to withstand certain hits that a normal person wouldn't be able to withstand. He can block things. So Goku needs to view himself as if he's a suit, and here's where we're going to elaborate. Therefore, continue to upgrade and synergize with the suit you possess, but maintain the spirit of an earthly man that resides within you, my young friend. So basically, he tells him what? He tells him, you need to become more with yourself. Stop viewing yourself as if you're a fighter from this world. Extend your imaginations. All right, view yourself as a body of armor, but keep that earthly spirit within inside yourself. Still knowing about your earthly roots, which basically gets Goku to start to see in his mind that he should train even harder because he's not normal. And he already knew he wasn't normal. But this helps him, in a way. So Goku meditates on this action, on these thoughts that were told to him by his first sensei, So they both meditate on the matter. Whole time, T'Challa's kind of looking at Goku, seeing that this man, or that this boy, is damn near destined for great things that he sees in him. So after a while, Goku, waves his goodbyes. He's leaving Wakanda. He's built up a good relationship. These are the first people he's met that have kind of took him in, which is very uncommon for Wakanda, But anyway, so as he's waving his goodbyes and leaving, the spirit of Bast, which is basically the person that gives T'Challa the powers that he has in the first place, sees something in this boy that's opposite of T'Challa. She sees a threat, an unknown threat that she can't really describe, but she feels like this is the last time that T'Challa and Goku will come to blows. Of course, his name is Kravenov at this point, because like I said, he hasn't got the name Goku. He will get that at the end of this origin story, though, so that's why I'm calling him Goku now. But as Boss sees this threat, T'Challa sees a young boy, destined to grow into someone even greater, and he can't wait to see this kid, later on. So Goku looks at the phone that was given to him by T'Challa, and he looks on the map of the place that piques his interest, a place known as Henan, the Chinese province. All right, and that's where he's going to be going next. All right, so with that, as you know, that'll be the end of episode 2 or issue 2 of Goku's origin story. I hope you guys liked it. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. If you liked it, like, comment, and all of that. And if you people know where Honan is in China, basically he's going to be meeting Shang-Chi. That's where his next adventure is going to be. And with that, I hope you guys like this video. Peace.